All right, we are moving along with this marathon. As again on our network, we have so many different types of shows. As Dana had mentioned, with the three that we have pending, the three shows that we are up to 20 shows over on this network. And one of the shows that I thoroughly enjoy and a good friend of mine and podcaster is Ian Rachiele. He has two shows that he does on the PR Connections Network. He does Vegas Hockey Hub as well as the Sports Angle. He's one of the first shows that we had on the network. And I guess you're a little over a year now yourself, aren't you,
Yeah, we're
Ian?
a little over in. We started back in March of 2022, and hey, we're still here, still doing shows, and it's fantastic to be here on the network.
Yes, and I know you're a seasoned podcaster and broadcaster, Ian. You've been doing this since you were a young person. Is that right?
Started when I was a teenager, and hey, 6 years later, I'm still here, still doing it.
Yes, and you're just so knowledgeable. So Ian and I was appearing on the Sports Angle. I guess it was a couple of years ago. I came and did some guest spots on another network that Ian was a part of back then, and I could just his commitment to being good at this was something that really stood out for me. And as we started to develop the network further, I had a vision of having a sports show on our network, and things just worked out. And Ian has come over here, and he's literally created a sports division within PR Connections, which is something that I had always wanted. I'm a huge sports fan, and I just love what he's doing. His attention to getting better and better and better at this. And you're just this Vegas Hockey Hub is a very popular show on our network, Ian.
I mean, I'm not going to take much credit. The Vegas Golden Knights, they're in the Western Conference Finals, one of the best teams in hockey. So when you get to talk about one of the best teams in the world, it kind of helps you out. So
yeah, I'm going to get out of your way so you can go ahead and do that right now. Please welcome Ian Rachiele, the host of Vegas Hockey Hub. All right, Ian.
Absolutely.
PR Connections Radio presents.
Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media here in the sports entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. Follow me on social media at Ian Rachiele18 or follow the show at Vegas Hockey Hub. And we have a great show planned for you tonight, as we are going to be discussing one of the most valuable players on the Vegas Golden Knights, and we'll be discussing, has he earned a second contract with your Vegas Golden Knights? And of course, the player I'm talking about is goaltender Adin Hill. And Adin Hill, he has been a very strong member of the Vegas Golden Knights this postseason. And without Adin Hill, you can make an argument that the Vegas Golden Knights, they wouldn't have not even gotten to the Western Conference Finals without him. But to give you a little bit of context before we break down, is Adin Hill worthy of another contract as he earned a second contract for Vegas, let's actually examine who Adin Hill actually is. So Adin Hill, he came from British Columbia in Canada. He is a 27-year-old goaltender. He was drafted in 2015 by the Arizona Coyotes. He was taken 76th overall. Now, him playing out in Calgary, him being there in the Alberta Hockey League, being in junior hockey leagues, and he actually spent his junior hockey playing career for the Portland Winterhawks of the Western Hockey League. Now, what got his attention by Arizona was he had a Western Hockey League best 31 wins, 12 losses, and a 92.1 save percentage in 2014-2015 for Portland. And that is what got him on their radar and got him drafted in 2015. I mean, he spent 3 years in Portland, and he actually recorded 30 or more wins in 2014 and in 2015. And in fact, the 2015 season, He played in 69 games for Portland and had a record of 32, 27, and 6. So it was a situation with Portland where he was building up consistency and he was building up the fact that he could become a player in the NHL someday. Now, his first season playing professional hockey came in the AHL for the Springfield Falcons. The Springfield Falcons, he had a cup of coffee with them, only 4 games, but he had a save percentage of 90.5, not bad for his first year. Moving over to 2016-2017, year 2 that he was in hockey, he split time between the AHL and the ECHL. He had 45 games during that time period, and he had a goals against average around 90%, and he had a save percentage of 3.2. So for Adin Hill, he had an interesting start to his career because you got to remember what team he was on. He wasn't on Vegas. He wasn't on LA. He wasn't on Edmonton. He was playing for Arizona. And to put it nicely, the Arizona Coyotes are a team that has been notoriously known for mismanaging goaltenders. So Adin Hill, doing his first 2 seasons, those stats don't look that great until you analyze and actually understand that he actually did a lot better than expected playing in Arizona. 2017-2018, after a 45-game stint in Tucson in the AHL, where he actually had 23 wins during that time period and got them to the second round in the AHL playoffs. Adin Hill gets his first cup of coffee in the NHL in 2017-2018. He played 4 games for Arizona, had a very unusual 89.1 save percentage, and he had a 3.49. So Adin Hill, first cup of coffee in the NHL. He's building up reps, right? That's what we do in the NHL, NFL, NBA, MLB. You're building up your reps. You're getting more games played. You're doing better each and every time. Now, Adin Hill, a couple of years into his career, he has played for Arizona the entire time, but it's been mainly in the AHL. Well, 2018-2019 and 2019-2020, Adin Hill kind of had the same type of situation. He was the starting goaltender in Tucson, and he would get called up to the NHL when there was injuries or when they had to have an extra goalie. He played 26 games in Arizona during that time period, and he actually had 9 wins, 9 losses, and 3 overtime losses during that time period. But in the AHL, he was a much different story. In the AHL, he had 56 games played and had 31 wins during that time. Him having a goals against average of 2.5 and a save percentage around 91%. So in the AHL, Adin Hill was proving himself to be a good goaltender in the NHL. He's had to get more reps. Well, in the 2020 offseason, he gets dealt to the San Jose Sharks. So he goes from Arizona and goes to San Jose. So while he is doing the San Jose Sharks, he has his one and only season playing in San Jose. And it's actually his first season where he played majority of the year in the NHL. He had 25 games in San Jose, went 10-12, a 2.66 goals against average, and about a 90% save percentage. So him being in San Jose, it really enabled Adin Hill to build up the credibility as a NHL level goaltender and what was able to get him to Vegas. So taking it back a few months, during the 2022 NHL offseason, the Vegas Golden Knights, Robin Lehner is out. He is injured, going to be on IR. Oh my gosh, what are the Golden Knights going to do? Well, they go and they call up a division rival in San Jose, and they make a trade. What the trade was is that the Vegas Golden Knights gave up a 4th round pick in the upcoming NHL draft in exchange for Adin Hill. Just for context, he was traded for a goalie and a 2nd round pick when Arizona flipped him to San Jose. So Adin Hill gets an opportunity in Vegas being dealt for a 4th round pick. So Adin Hill was expected to be a backup goaltender for Logan Thompson, and that was really all he was supposed to be. He was going to be a backup goalie. You'd see him in a few games. He would have a few off appearances, but that's what Adin Hill was supposed to be. Now, this season, if you really break it down into two parts, it's a tale of two stories. Adin Hill in the regular season and Adin Hill in the postseason are two completely different goalies. Adin Hill in 25 games this year had a win-loss record of 16-8 and had a goals against average of 2.5 and a save percentage of 91.5. So he had the best goals against average in his NHL career in 6 seasons so far, and he had a 91.5 save percentage, which was the second best in his career, only behind 2019. But 16 wins was the most he had in a single season up to that point. Only 7 losses is actually not bad considering he played in 25 games. So for Adin Hill, he showed that he was reliable, he was consistent, and more importantly, he was an asset to the Vegas Golden Knights that they had to hold on to. Because the goaltending for Vegas was a very injury-prone situation in year 6 for your Vegas Golden Knights. Logan Thompson was an all-star, and then he gets injured. Robin Lehner was put on IR all year. He was not going to play. Then you had Laurent Brisebois, who was injured to begin the year and was put in the AHL for a portion of the season. So to have someone like Adin Hill, who was there for majority of the season, that is a valuable asset. It's kind of like business. If you have a valuable asset, you're not going to let that go. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, they trusted Adin Hill. They know they could rely on him, and they head into the postseason with him on the active roster. Now, I'm going to keep this in mind. Heading into this postseason, Adin Hill was the number 2 starter behind Laurent Brisebois. Okay? He was going to be the backup in Vegas. He wasn't going to see that much playing time. In fact, he was not even supposed to play in this postseason. He was going to be the backup. Well, when circumstances happened, he was forced to play. So in Winnipeg, he did not see any action at all. But on May 8th, he got to see his first action. On May 8th, Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals, he sees Laurent Brisebois go down. Brisebois gets injured against Edmonton. He has to come in late in the game. He makes 4 saves. Game 5 was a very important game for Adin Hill because in that game, he gets his first playoff win of his career in the NHL. He gets his first ever victory in the postseason. He stopped 24 shots and even had a shutout against the Edmonton Oilers. He made a very impressive debut against Edmonton, and that's something that a lot of Vegas Golden Knights fans are going to remember. Because that was the game that they were up 4-0, and they made Edmonton look like a joke. So Adin Hill did very well for the Vegas Golden Knights. And I also want to mention Josh Bailey from Stay Tuned Live. Yeah, I had you on a show recently. You say go Sharks. Obviously, this is a Vegas Golden Knights show. However, Adin Hill was traded from San Jose and went to the Vegas Golden Knights. So the guy that we're talking about on this show, Josh, is about Adin Hill, the current starting goaltender for the Vegas Golden Knights. We got him from San Jose, so I appreciate you giving us up, Josh Bailey. Now, the last 2 games in that Edmonton series was vital for Adin Hill because in Game 5, he goes up against Edmonton and he stops 35 shots and beats Edmonton to cause a 3-2 series. And then in a vital Game 6, when they have to have him the most, Adin Hill stops a whopping 40 shots on net against Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. 40 shots on net and only lets up 2 goals to clinch against Edmonton and get Vegas to the Western Conference Finals in Game 6. So if you examine Adin Hill from what he did in Edmonton, he had 3 wins, only 1 loss, and helped Vegas clinch a spot in the Western Conference Finals. You could make a valid, legit argument that if Adin Hill was not the backup, that if it had been Yori Patera, if it had been Isaiah Seville, if it had been one of the younger goaltenders in net, not Adin Hill, I don't think they would have beaten Edmonton as well as they did with Adin Hill in net. Adin Hill made a positive impact for your Vegas Golden Knights, and Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee will not forget it. How has Adin Hill done against Dallas, you might ask? How has Adin Hill performed against the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Finals? Well, his stats show a lot better story than what was on the ice. Because in Game 1, they beat Dallas. He stopped 36 shots, had a save percentage around 91%. He did a well enough job against Dallas to get the job done in Game 1. Adin Hill was a solid reason as to why the Vegas Golden Knights won Game 1, just like Game 2 in the Western Conference Finals. Adin Hill put up he put up 28 shots on net, had 2 goals allowed, but he picked up the victory against Dallas to make it a 2-0 game. And then Game 3 against Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, Adin Hill had a shutout. The second one of the postseason. He had a shutout against Edmonton, did not allow them to get a single shot in the back of the net, and they beat Dallas in a Game 3 to go up 3-0. Oh, but Game 4 and Game 5, Ian Rachiele from Vegas Hockey Hub. What about Game 4 and Game 5? Was that Adin Hill's fault that in Game 4 there was a high sticking penalty in overtime and it led to the advantage for Dallas? No, that was not Adin Hill's fault at all. As a matter of fact, he stopped 42 shots on net that night and only let up 3 goals. So for a guy who spent over 60 minutes in net and had 45 shots coming at him, Adin Hill did an exceptional job in Game 5, and in Game 4, he did well as well. So when it comes to Adin Hill, an important question you have to ask Vegas, are you going to extend Adin Hill this postseason? After what he has done, after what he has accomplished in Vegas in his solo season here, are you going to bring him back? Because a little detail that most people have forgotten about is that Adin Hill is a free agent after this year. Adin Hill is an unrestricted free agent. He was going to be here on a 1-year deal in Vegas. So if you're the Vegas Golden Knights and you have $1.2 million over the salary cap, how are you going to bring back Adin Hill? It's the same question I asked earlier on Vegas Hockey Hub about Ben Hutton. The same question I asked about Brett Howden. The Vegas Golden Knights are going to have to make some very tough decisions when it comes to the offseason, and that is, are you going to bring back Brisebois? Are you going to bring back Hill? What are you going to do with Nolan Patrick? Does George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon still believe in him? And for Robin Lehner, what are you going to do with Robin Lehner? Because Robin Lehner is going to make $6 million next year, and he was injured all year long. All right, Robin Lehner was on the IR. He missed a huge portion of the year. And when it comes to Robin Lehner, that is a $6 million that Vegas Golden Knights might put to good use. So when it comes to Vegas Hockey Hub, it is a cutting-edge sports podcast. Go Knights, go 100%. But back to the original question. The question is, are the Vegas Golden Knights going to reward Adin Hill for his performance against Edmonton and his performance against Dallas? And my argument to you is that he is absolutely 100% going to get a contract extension, because Adin Hill put up solid numbers in the regular season, and then He put up or shut up, and he most definitely put up in the postseason, and he has helped Vegas get to the Western Conference Finals. Now, do I think they'll give him a long-term deal? Probably not. But I say that Adin Hill is going to get a 1-year deal, maybe a 2-year deal at most. But at the end of the day, he is going to get a contract extension by the Vegas Golden Knights. And the way they're going to do it is by buying out Robin Lehner, buying out his $6 million contract. And that's going to free up enough money for Vegas to bring back not just Adin Hill, but potentially bring back Brett Howden and bring back several players who are going to be restricted free agents on this Vegas Golden Knights team. So as we are talking about the Vegas Golden Knights here on Vegas Hockey Hub on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. And as we are looking forward to what's next, right? That's what this show is about. What's next? Well, the Vegas Golden Knights, they're going to go up against Dallas once again. And you are going to be in Dallas in a vital series where you could potentially win this series. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights, they have gotten to a little bit of a slump. Right? They've lost their past 2 games. They were up 3-0. Now they head into a vital Game 6 at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. And what the important story is going to be is, can the Vegas Golden Knights wake up? Can they drink a couple of energy drinks? And can they stop having sloppy passes in the neutral zone like they did in Game 5? That was the biggest problem that the Vegas Golden Knights had in Game 5, was a lack of energy. It really looked like they were sluggish in Game 5. And their sloppy passes from Alec Martinez, Michael Amadio. There was several examples of the Vegas Golden Knights showing sloppy passing and sloppy work with the puck. Because I think Adin Hill can get it done. He showed against Edmonton that he can be a goalie that gets you far. The defense is pretty solid for Vegas. I mean, after all, the Vegas Golden Knights have been pretty well known for their defense. Shea Theodore, Alec Martinez, Zach Whitecloud, Brayden McNabb, my favorite player on the Golden Knights, but you guys already know that. But when the Vegas Golden Knights' biggest concern is going to be, can you take away and can you limit the amount of turnovers that you are going to give Dallas? Because the amount of turnovers you give that team, it's eventually going to cost you. And when you saw against Dallas in Game 5 and you saw in Dallas in Game 4, if you have a turnover in Game 5, it went the other way and they put the puck in the back of the net. In Game 4, it was discipline. Brayden McNabb gets that high sticking penalty and it leads to Dallas scoring on the power play. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm going to leave it with this. The Vegas Golden Knights need to win this series. The Vegas Golden Knights cannot be known as that team that blew a 3-0 lead against the Dallas Stars. I mean, after all, the New York Yankees did it to the Boston Red Sox in 2004 in the ALCS, and they were mocked and laughed at for blowing a 3-0 lead. So if you're the Vegas Golden Knights, my advice is that you need to win this game. You need to wrap it up, and you need to make sure that the Vegas Golden Knights go to the Stanley Cup Finals and take on Florida here at T-Mobile Arena.
Thanks for getting us up to speed on the world of hockey, Ian. And living here in Las Vegas, we have become this hub of sports, particularly hockey. And it's an exciting time. I mean, the very first season that the Knights were in existence, they go to the Stanley Cup. And I think our expectations of this team are very, very high. And I think you echoed that today with your presentation. Hey, we're all about championships. That's what happens when you set that type of a precedence early on in the beginning of your organization.
Yeah. I will mention one thing. It's not hockey related, but it is Vegas related. Scoot Henderson, he plays for the NBA G League Ignite. He is the projected number 2 pick in the NBA draft. I think he's going to be a great talent in the NBA, and we have seen him live. He's an incredible talent.
We did. Ian and I got a chance to go and check out the Ignite several games, and yes, it's amazing that you get to see that, right? Someone who's preparing for the draft, and I see big things in Scoot Henderson's future, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and the A's, by the way, that $1.5 billion ballpark, they just showed the rendering of it. It looks incredible. Seeing the MGM Grand in the skyline, having the strip right behind you. Oh, it's going to look incredible.
Yes, and Ian, I know, again, you're a huge sports fan, and this town, the evolution now with us having the Grand Prix coming in November. We've got the Super Bowl that's coming early next year. You are going to be one busy young man with your sports coverage. Along with the Oakland A's, of course, that are coming. I just see Vegas more and more evolving into this sports mecca, sports and entertainment capital of the world. I just love that moniker that you have.
Yep, the sports entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. And hey, we might be getting an NBA expansion team too. Don't forget about that. We might be getting the NBA as well.
Absolutely. I think that it's just a matter of time, and being someone who I came here in 1996, and Vegas was very, very anti-professional sports at that time.
Indeed, it was. Yeah, it absolutely was.
And then, to see it just evolve over the 27 years that I've lived here into this total sports hub is, the things really, really can change sometimes.
Absolutely. No doubt.
All right. Well, thanks again, Ian, for being a part of this network, the things that you do behind the scenes, as well as the two shows that you host. And keep up the great work, man. Go Knights, go. We're looking forward to being in the Stanley Cup. And I know you're going to be keeping us up to speed on all of the hardcore information. I mean, Ian goes into a lot of depth with the shows that he presents.
Yep. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on PR Connections Radio.
All right. Keep up all your great work. Ian Rachiele with the Sports Angle and Vegas Hockey Hub.